Hi, my name is Dana Arnett, co-host of Wicked Marketing, along with my partner, Carlos Cepene. You can find more information about us and our business on LinkedIn, or if you have any questions, email us at info@wickedbionic.com. Subscribe to Wicked Marketing on Apple Podcasts and write an awesome review for us. We're also on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Google Play. Carlos and I were really talking about what it was that we get, the questions that we get asked most often, and then we ran into somebody recently, and she asked us this question. So we thought we would take it. We felt like it could really be a whole segment because there's a lot of pieces to it, and maybe you'll identify with it in your business. But I'll read the question to you. This person said, "We have a pet store. That's a brick and mortar pet store." And sell products online as well. We've been in business 6 years and are doing just fine. We don't spend any money on marketing. But the problem is, and this is where this person got very honest, our sales are flat. I'm not losing money, but I'm not growing either. What do you suggest? And we get this the basic general idea all the time of, what do you suggest? And it's almost like there's a tiny bit of shame, like I'm doing just fine. And then they learn that they could have more, they could get more, but they don't know how to do it, so they don't learn how to do it. So let's talk about some of the things that we offer.
So I think, the first thing to consider when you're doing marketing is what are your goals, right? So
pet store.
For this person at the pet store, they're doing fine for now.
Right.
They've
probably a lot of referrals.
Repeat
customers.
Been there for 6 years, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're doing fine.
Right. You're keeping the lights on. The employees are paid.
Are you going to wait until you're not doing fine? Or do you start allocating some of your effort, reinvesting some of the money coming in, and at least having a stable backup plan?
And what is there's a percentage that from corporations on down to small businesses should be saving out of their annual revenue and reinvesting in their business through marketing?
Yeah, the average is 30%.
Right.
That's the recommended average. 30% of your revenue should be reinvested into the firm. Now, we do get this quite a bit, right? There's people that have been doing their business, running along. The economy's doing great right now.
They're successful. They consider themselves successful.
They keep their lights on. They have their employees. The employees are happy. Like I've said before, things change. Times change.
Right.
And are you really going to wait until your house is on fire before you will buy a fire extinguisher?
Mm-hmm.
So when people tell me I'm fine and we're doing fine, but my sales are flat, my first question to them is your goal as a business to stay with flat sales? Is it enough for you? Is that enough for you?
That's what I say. Is that enough for you?
And if the answer is yes, then I say, then look at reinvesting a minimum amount in at least creating a sustainable strategy for driving new business.
Right.
Because what will happen is the inevitable, right? People will lose their jobs. People will die. People will move out of town.
Well, and in this case, the pets die. My boys died 2 years ago. I haven't bought another one.
Yeah.
All the places that I bought stuff from, I don't go back because I don't have a pet.
Or rescue another one. We're in LA.
Yeah, I'm not ready yet. Not ready yet. I can't give up the freedom for that sweet, sweet dog that's coming.
Yeah. So I think what it is you really need to think about what the goal of the business is. Now, there's people that have a goal of retiring from their business and selling their business, for example. So I'm doing fine. My business is doing fine. I want to sell my business. When people are looking at buying a business, they will not look at your business just being fine now, but they will look at what the projections are and what your strategic projections are to keep that business doing fine even beyond the period of them purchasing your business. Otherwise, your business value goes down. Mm-hmm. So if you're really thinking about retiring on your business income right now or retiring on selling your business,
you got to build.
You still have to build. You still have to build to sustain.
And let me say, and especially in the pet space, there will always be new competitors. That's the thing. So staying current is super important. And what I love about this question too is nobody asks the question if they don't want something more.
Absolutely.
That's a beautiful thing.
And that's the thing, right? If you have a pet store and you're doing fine, what stops the next big pet store from opening up next to yours?
And doing
because
it better.
if yours is doing fine, I'm going to do fine in that same area.
Right.
Right? So that's what I keep on saying about expecting the unexpected and being prepared for the unexpected and having a plan. So that's what marketing is all about, having a plan, right? And having brand perception and having
driving sales in a new way.
Sales. Yeah.
Right? Exposing your brand in a new way to people.
So you may have done really well for a period of time without marketing. And even if you don't know it, you are marketing. Even if you're not spending any money.
Putting your logo on that shirt and people walking around with it or the dog.
Yes. Yeah. And there's word of mouth marketing.
Right.
Right? So you are relying on marketing because even referral is word of mouth marketing, right? So let's think that you're relying on referral. What happens when something happens and those referrals become negative?
Right.
Oh, don't go there. They killed my dog.
That's really extreme, Carlos.
I know, but it happens.
But a bad review on Yelp.
A bad review
on Yelp. You want to have yourself
really
positioned elsewhere. Yeah, exactly.
Really noisy person.
So let's talk about positive things about ways that they can go about using some marketing dollars.
Well, and you can do it with using marketing dollars or not using marketing dollars, right? So you can, and I've mentioned this before, if you don't have the budget to market, it doesn't mean that you can't market.
Right.
So there's things that you can do to help people help you drive that voice out there, like creating offers that they can pass on to their friends, like creating like sending out your email marketing campaign. So there's a lot of things that you can still do to keep that communication channel open with people, because marketing is about creating a brand message. It's about creating brand recall, but it's also about brand lift. And brand lift, which is a term we haven't used a lot here, is the ability to use other people or other entities to help you drive a lift in your brand recall.
Right.
So that's word of mouth. That is social media resharing, for example. It's reaching other people through your messaging.
And I want to say, my guess is that this store, because they're in our neighborhood, they are they're good with social media. They got good Instagram. They're sending out email coupons or whatever. But to go that next place to attract new, we do have many different tools. So now we're talking about a spend, and it doesn't matter whether it's a lot or a little. We're just going to talk about some ideas of things to do to bring new people to your business and re-energize
Well,
it.
so the way that I look at it is any sort of spend, any spend that you do in digital marketing or in traditional marketing and any sort of marketing overall should really be allocated in ways that either drive brand awareness or in ways that drive organic growth. And this is because a lot of people think, I'm going to use marketing to put my message out there. I'm going to use marketing to put my message out there so people know about me, and that's what it is. So I'm just going to tell everybody about my services. I'm going to tell everybody about everything I do. And then there's no thought process behind it about, okay, you're going to do this for how long? For a month, 2 months, 3 months, depending on your budget, depending on on where you're putting your message, right? What happens after that? So what are the elements that you're building into it to grow, to use that marketing budget to grow your organic positioning, which is when people find you without you having to spend money. So that's one of the key things that we as an agency work with our clients to help them determine, right? So maybe if you have a $5,000 budget, which is very different from a $5 million budget, you allocate part of that to helping yourself become more relevant for the future.
Right.
So that you're not constantly needing to spend money.
Yeah, and constantly chasing. And constantly
constantly
chasing. It's,
chasing.
we all know it feels terrible to be behind the trend. Your business may not lead the trend, but you want to be in pace with it at least, and you want to be sticking out, as Carl said earlier, from the noise.
Yeah.
And I think it would be really kind of a good thing. We're going to say, like in this example, these people have been in business 6 years, and they're generating revenue, that they probably have a very robust email list. So let's talk about lookalike lists and see what that is.
So one of the things that you can do is, in order for you to be able to identify who the right people are to spend money on, to reach, is looking at who your core business is, right? So a lot of businesses gather email lists so that they can continue communication with their clients, in particular a pet store, right, or a veterinarian office will probably have email lists so that they can communicate with their clients. There's tools out there that you can utilize to create what are called lookalike lists. So lookalike lists are lists of people that look alike, and this is not a physical lookalike.
Yeah.
It's not like they have brown hair because your people have brown hair. Lookalike means people that behave. It's more like behave like. People that behave or express interest that are in line with the people that behave or express interest in your business in particular. And so you're able to create these lookalike lists, and you're able to target them with advertising. So not only are you able to advertise to the people that are on your list by targeting them through their email, you're able to target people that look alike those people. So those are people that are probably closer in many ways to the objectives of the people that already come to you.
And think about it. If you had 1,000 people on your email list that you're marketing to, people that you know and that are repeat customers, and then you create, or the tool creates a list that's 1,000 more people, let's say, just to make it even, 1,000 more people, you have the potential to then grow your business by 1,000. You might grow up by only 200.
Yeah,
That's
or
200
100.
or
Yeah.
100.
Yeah.
But you still have grown, and then those people are now in your network. So that's how it works. And so what's the tool that we talk about?
So there's a lot of tools that
Yeah.
do lookalike lists, but the
Facebook?
most commonly used ones are Facebook Business, which is business@facebook.com. So that's the tool that you use to create advertising on Facebook. Google also, when you're placing Google search ads, can create lookalike lists for you as well. So you can use those lists so that you're spending money, instead of spending money to everyone in a specific area, you're spending money to people that are more closely aligned with the people that already come to your business.
Right. So it's
better
basically importing those lists, and then it finds people that
Yeah.
are like those people based upon what you've input. So
Yeah. And then you can also use techniques like remarketing. So once you get those people to your site, you never know whether those people are at the right time to make a purchase or to call your veterinarian office and make an appointment because they're maybe in the middle of work. So by them visiting your website, if your website has the tag implemented correctly, the remarketing tag, then you're able to capture their data. And then when they're that night, when they're on CNN or on some other website, then your ad could show up to them.
we've talked about this in the very beginning, when that annoying shirt or pair of shoes that you were looking at Macy's, and then you didn't buy it, or you did, but you didn't buy it, and then you're on CNN.com that night looking at the news, and boy, those shoes float up there.
Yeah.
At the top or at the side. That's remarketing. They're remarketing to you because you were on their site looking at those, and they grabbed your data.
Yeah, so I think what it is, listen, at the end of the day, if you're in business for a reason, right? So the fact that you have a stable business today doesn't negate the fact that you need to make sure that your business can be stable in the future. And marketing is a great tool that allows you to help yourself create that opportunity.
And stay
for you.
competitive, right?
Stay competitive, stay available, stay relevant in the future. And so there are techniques, and those techniques are tied to time, effort, and money.
Right.
Right. So the less money you want to spend, the more time and effort you're going to spend.
Right.
Right. That's like a
But if you think about it too,
trifecta.
if you pay, trifecta. If you make $100,000 in revenue, $30,000 should go into your marketing. Now that might scare the crap out of you if you've never spent anything on marketing, but you take a third of that and spread it out over the 12 months of the year, divide it by 12, and make that plan. So you have to start somewhere, and it doesn't mean, as long as you start somewhere in a smart way, and I would suggest talking to an agency and having them, because if you're a 6-year-old business like these particular people and they're selling products and they're making money, they don't want to do a grassroots campaign. They want to spend that $10,000 or $20,000 effectively. So having an agency, talking to an agency that knows how to do it is the best way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, you're an expert at what you do. We're an expert at what we do.
Right.
So we don't usually come on our podcast and talk about talking to an agency because we want to provide value on the podcast to you guys. But there are certain things that are just common business sense.
Yeah, and I do think the only reason I did say about an agency is because there are people that are at that level that don't want to do it, and they're making money, that don't want to do it, but they go, how do I do it myself? And if you have the money, you don't want to do it yourself because you might waste money. So getting an agency, and there's so many out there that can handle things for you.
Time, effort, and money.
Right. Doing what you do best.
Doing what you do best, exactly.
Well, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to and share Wicked Marketing on Apple Podcasts and write an awesome review for us. We are also on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Google Play. See you next time.